1967 Cadillac Eldorado, finished in Atlantis blue fire mist. If you look at the data plate on the engine compartment of these Cadillacs, it will give you the paint code. And again, this is called Atlantis blue fire mist. It is code 90. In 1967, you could choose, if you wanted one of the 5 more expensive fire mist colors, this is one of them. Of the 5 fire mist colors this year, Atlantis blue is without a doubt my favorite color. It's just so deep, inviting, and gorgeous. And I have a hard time walking by one of these 67 or 68 Eldorados, especially finished in Atlantis blue, without buying it. And that is why in the last 18 months I've had 3 of these things. These fire mist colors on these years are so stunning. They're beautiful. And making it even more rare is the fact that people didn't pony up the money back then to pay for these fire mist paints, because first of all, they were more expensive. And there were so many beautiful colors available during these years that, you know, the world was your oyster. So, 1967 Cadillac Eldorado with a 429 cubic inch V8 that runs and drives beautiful. 89,600 miles. Now, I am 53 years old. I was 1 year old when this car was made. And what's interesting about this, the reason I say that is because this car has not changed hands since before I bought it. Since the time that I was in high school. I bought it from a gentleman in North Carolina, and he owned it for 34 years. So not only is it a Southern car, but it is a 2-owner car from new, which is pretty cool. Talking about a car that's 52 years old. This is the autumn of 2019. So it's fairly rare to have a car that doesn't have that many owners and is in this kind of condition with that kind of miles. What I really love about this particular Eldorado is it does have the blue interior. Now, the blue interior is not the same color as the exterior. It's not identical, but it's pretty darn close. If I really had to tell you, I would say that it's probably maybe 1 shade darker blue, but it matches oh so beautifully. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but I can. 89,709 miles on it. I've got the bright lights on, and that's what that little red dot is. In later years, that red dot turned blue. But the problem with driving around with a blue high beam light is that it's very irritating. These red dots that you have like that in these older days are really nice. It doesn't bother your eyes going down the road like those blue lights do for the high beams. So the interior is really, really nice. I usually rate my cars. I'm going to give the paint on this car a very solid 8 out of 10. 10 being brand new and 1 being in a junkyard. And I'm going to very, very easily rate the interior of this car as a 9.5 out of 10. There are no flaws. They're really not. And this beautiful silk type inserts during these years are just beautiful. And it's almost impossible for me to tell you actually what this material is, but I call it silk because it's just so pleasant. It really just sets off the interior beautifully. Just a quick note while I'm here, if you like the 67 and the 68 Eldorados, most people I talk to don't know this, but the 67 has a different dashboard. The 67 dashboard goes all the way across here, whereas the 68 dashboard goes across and ends about there. So you get a shorter dashboard in the 68. It's really a personal preference as to which one you like. I personally like the 67 Eldorado dashboard quite a bit better. It's just more beautiful, that's all. For me, personally. Now, you can't put the headlight covers up when the car's not running, but the headlight covers work as advertised. They go from the bottom up. Alright, and I've owned probably 15 of these in the last 10 years, and if you buy one without working headlight covers, you're going to have a hard time getting it going. You can change it to electric if you want to. There's a kit that you can buy originally for the Tornados I believe, for the 66 and 67 Tornados that people will use on these 67 and 68 Eldorados to get those vacuum-operated headlight door covers working. And they'll work fine if you turn them into electric, but the problem is it's just not the way that it was made original. For example, when you turn on these headlights and it's working correctly with the vacuum, you hear this really cool whoosh sound when the doors close and open. Changing it to electric makes the doors faster. They don't make any noise. They don't make that vacuum noise. So if you're like me, you like originality, which is what I'm all about, you'll want those headlight doors operating by vacuum. Trust me on that. So again, this car was with the former owner for 34 years out of North Carolina. I've had this car about a year. And this is my third, again, Atlantis Blue Fire Mist. There are a few small flaws on the car altogether. I'm showing you the hood here so you can actually see the reflection of the leaves in the hood. The paint is really, really nice. It does have a few small flaws here and there. No dings or scratches or anything, just a few small flaws that I will be happy to explain to you further on a telephone conversation when you call me to buy this car. Well, while we're here near the ass end, let's pop open the trunk, shall we? Excuse me while I do this. Everything in the trunk is very nice. You get the original spare back there, and you've got those original cardboard inserts wrapped around the jack. That's the way it's supposed to be, right there. Okay, a lot of times that stuff's just missing. It's got the original cardboard inserts that go along the edge there, and everything else on the trunk mat is in nice shape. Not perfect, but nice. Now, I've been over this car very carefully, as I do all of these cars that I purchase. And if you look carefully at the body, you'll see how beautiful it is. I look very carefully when I purchase these cars to make sure all of the panels line up. One thing you're going to find on 67 through 70 Eldorados is that about half of them, people dinged up that because this hood is so long on these things that a lot of times you had female drivers back in the day and they would rack up these front ends. And so if you go online and you look at photos of these cars all over the internet, you're going to see that about half of them have that nose pushed down and that pushed up. And nobody ever fixes them because it must have been expensive to fix them. This one doesn't have any problems. So when you take a look at my video, when you take a look at my photos, look real carefully at this one because it is perfect. The way all of these lines line up, the way everything looks across the bumper and the egg crate grill here. Look at everything. This car really lines up nicely. I can just about say with the utmost certainty this car has never, ever had an accident. One of the reasons I think it feels so solid and nice going down the road. Now, as any old car, it's not perfect, okay? It's not perfect. The clock's not working. The AC does work. How does that sound? The AC does work. Cruise control does not. So, if you want to have the cruise control working and the clock, you'll have a few small things to do. But other than that, everything feels good. It runs and drives good. Brakes good. It doesn't have any weird noises. It sure as hell commands a lot of attention. Not only because it's a 67 Eldorado, but with that color, it just jumps right out at you. It really does. Now, my website is very simple. Let me say it slowly. Supersportmotors.com. I'm located in Clinton, New York. My zip code is 13323. My phone number is 315-853-1967. If you want to get a hold of me and talk to me, you can email me. My email address is MajorStantonUSAF. That's MajorStantonUSAF at hotmail.com. So it's MajorStantonUSAF at hotmail.com. And if you can't hear me good enough on this video, just go to my website. Very simple. supersportmotors.com. Supersportmotors.com. It's got my phone number on there, which is 315-853-1967. And you can call me, leave me a voicemail, and I will get back to you. Do not text me. I will not text you back under any circumstance. And I will consider trades. A lot of the cars that I've acquired through the years, not only have they become part of my personal collection, but cars that I resell are from cars that people trade me. This one was not a trade-in. I bought this one outright, as I do with most of my 67 and 68 Eldorados. Alright, so let me recap for you very carefully, and I may have actually missed something, so that's why I do these recaps. 1967 Cadillac Eldorado with 89,700 original miles with all sorts of receipts and books. I bought it from the second owner. North Carolina is where it came from. And that owner owned it for 34 years, putting it back into the mid-80s. I'm filming this here in the autumn of 2019 in my front yard in Clinton, New York. So, again, 315-853-1967 is my phone number. My website is supersportmotors.com. I buy and sell cars for fun. Strictly and purely for fun. Love taking trades because it gives me the opportunity to own and drive and learn about different vehicles that I wouldn't normally buy. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, I'm just standing here trying to move slowly for you because the lines on these 67 and 68 Eldorados have got to be and are one of the most beautiful and iconic designs ever made. This car sold for approximately $8,200 in 1967, which in today's money is the equivalent of around $82,000. Now that's a lot of money for a Cadillac. That's approaching, Rolls-Royce, Bentley territory. Go ahead and drive a 67 Rolls and then drive a 67 Eldorado. And you tell me which one you'd rather have. Even the brand new Cadillacs can't hold a candle to the ride quality of these beautiful older Eldorados. Look at that reflection. All right, time for me to go. I don't want to waste anybody's time. So if you go to my website, I've probably got 250 photos of this particular car because I was having a lot of fun in the day I was photographing it. So I have a lot of photos. And whoever gets this car will be very pleased. I can help arrange shipping anywhere in the continental U.S. and even to Europe. A lot of my cars go to Europe. A lot of the European buyers are a hell of a lot more reliable than American buyers. I don't know why that is, but they call you up and they have a conversation and they buy the car and they make things easy. Doesn't seem to be that way with Americans, but I don't know why. Who knows? Maybe it's the news. But anyways, thank you for taking the time to look at my video. I enjoy making these videos. And I get to jump in this car and drive it down the road and put her back in storage. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video.